Okay, we're here with MD3. We're at a little Panera Bread in Newport Beach, and I'm so happy to be sitting here with him. He's going to give me the download, a true expert in the market, front row seat, one of the biggest wildfire disasters in LA history. All right, man. Question of the hour. What the hell is going to happen up there?
So
Where do you
I've
start?
got more questions than answers, to be honest. And the more questions than I ask, the more answers I don't get. I'll start by the knowledge that I'm wanting to share here. Was a couple Fridays ago at my pub, Don's Irish Pub in Redondo Beach. I gathered six real estate professionals from my running club, the Walnuts, and we sat around, drank wine, and ate food, and talked about how to solve these problems or what's out there. And the first thing that came up was Ed Kaminsky. I give him a lot of credit. He has his own shop, got 25 agents in Hermosa Beach, and he was the most knowledgeable person. So these ideas are mostly from him. He thought he heard that the groups of families, especially the young families that had kids that were just used to gathering together wherever they lived, and now their house is gone, they would like to utilize the fact that they could go and go as pods, if you will, and go to a new location, whether it's in the valley or Orange County.
More the Altadena fires?
No,
Versus Palisades?
he more Palisades. From what I heard from him, it's more west. He's more West LA, West Side guy. He can run the South Bay, but going north. So the pod idea of them going kind of bulk.
It was I mean like multiple families
Yeah,
going together.
all the families going
Just
together.
like temporary housing?
No, temporary or permanent.
Years, right?
It could be. It's gonna be years. Period. In a sentence. And so there's that idea. But that idea doesn't have much merit. As much as it sounds great, I just don't see the market. There's so few houses on the market, and you're not gonna find a cul-de-sac that has 5-6 ethnic houses.
Because would you say pod because they're trying to like recreate a sense of community?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
That's exactly it. That's the word pod there. And he's based on what he's heard. He's talked to lots of people in these last month of tragedy. That about 50% are willing to rebuild, and I think that's maybe even be high because a lot of the people that lived in that community were elderly. These houses were way old, but it wasn't much new construction in that area. As a people did knock some things down, of course, but it's not a new community, and these people are they don't want to go through 4, 5, 6 years or more of design and approvals and construction and live in a construction site. I mean, I'm used to it, but I realize most people aren't. And the noise, the clutter, the dust, the lack of street parking, the big vehicles park up and down your street. People don't love that, and I get it. And in each house I worked at, parking and getting supplies to the project, even at great locations in terms of lots of parking, is always a challenge. And
So if you're building 10 houses, 10 custom homes on one street,
it's going to be a
Well,
cluster. It's a cluster, and you got to somehow phase this, But how are you going to do that? We are Americans. We have property rights, and I can do whatever I want to my property if I got a permit, and I can build it anytime I want. If you happen to be building next door, I don't know. I don't know how you solve that problem, because they were paid off. They may have had fire insurance and maybe not. And how many Allstate policies, were canceled prior to the January 7th. So, how much money do these people get back? And do they get back the full construction? And the house, wherever the house was built, clearly it's going to cost several times more now. And with so many houses need to be built, $1,000 a square foot would be acceptable, believe it or not, in modern time. But it's gonna go higher because the demand for materials and subcontractors.
and there's going to be a lot of underinsured,
There's gonna be a lot of
right? For a lot of
We
reasons.
could talk for hours, not me, but somebody else could talk for hours about just the insurance demands and how much money are these people going to be. How many people percentage are going to be made whole that they could rebuild a new house from scratch right now in today's market? That number's got to be small. I don't even.
Yeah, made whole.
Made whole, meaning I want to put my house exactly back the way it was.
Right.
And
That had the proper insurance that actually would make a whole.
Right.
Is a fraction of the market.
and at today's building costs, or tomorrow's building cost, is going to be higher than today's.
Right.
That, man, I don't know.
And then also to think about just building a house is not easy.
It's terrible hard. It'll very difficult. And this isn't coastal.
Everybody builds houses.
Not every Canadian contractor builds houses for sure.
Not every person is willing to have a private endeavor to develop.
No, it's very taxing. How many years does it take? It takes 2 years to get approvals, design and approvals, at least 2 years. Now that's not in the Coastal Commission. Coastal Commission it's 3 years. Now if they're going to reduce, if the politicians do what they say they're going to do, which I don't think they're going to, and reduce our requirements for Coastal Commission and CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act, then fine.
But even like, let's say they shorten it for a year. I mean, just building the house takes a couple of years.
2 years of design and then fast tracking 2 years of approvals and entitlement and design work and engineering. And then we break ground, and it's going to be 2 years, 18 months to 2+ years to build an average house in that region. I'm finishing up. I'm working on a monster house that's 21,000 square foot, and we're on year 3. So construction only.
Construction.
No, there's 3 years of entitlements and coastal commissions in area.
So who buys it all up?
Well, I don't define
Who
here.
buys up all the? So assuming that a lot of people are underinsured, they don't want
Everyone
to
in
leave California.
They will leave California or leave the Palisades. Who builds them?
Well, someone's going to fly.
Well,
People.
or-
Well, I don't know.
home built.
I don't know if a big Lennar or KB is going to come in, and maybe, but they're designed for tract homes. They're designed for, 50 to 100 or more at a time. That's not what this is going to be. I don't think anyone's going to sell off that many, and one person's going to accumulate that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they can somehow maneuver and get in front of these people at the right time, the right price, and say, I'll take this dirt off your hands, and it's all polluted and everything. But we have to deal with the environmental issues of just the toxic stuff, which the EPA should be working on right now. I don't see any of that activity happening. There offers for public people, or excuse me, private enterprise to go in there and clean up your sites and back to normal, just to make it back to dirt, is about $90,000 to $100,000, which is twice what it would cost normally
To hear the
just to clear the site of toxins and all the debris and the ash, and just make it a dirt lot again, so you can start all over. The other question is, how many of these people weren't happy with their current house size? And you can't change the lot size, but you can change the house size. So they want to basically come up with a whole new house, whole different concept, different style, everything. Is the city going to let them just do it? Are they going to have to go through the normal channels of the approval process? Is there going to be 2 tracks, or a track where I want to put back exactly what I had before, and then separate track is like, no, I want to add a second story. I want to add other things to it, an ADU maybe, and that's a different kind of thing. And then what about the other people that are in Santa Monica or somewhere really close by, but they want to build a house and nothing to do with fires, no connection whatsoever. But now the Palisades people are getting preferential treatment. How fair is that? And so it's like, well, he gets a fast track because he lost his house. I go, I just tore my house down. I've been planning this for years. I got my permit. I'm working towards my permit, and I can't get fast tracked. So there's someone smarter than me. He's got to, and I know Steve Soboroff personally. We're not friends, we're acquaintances.
And he's perfect.
He ran for mayor, and he also put together the Playa Vista project in West LA, and so that's how I met him. And anyhow, he's smart. He's very politically savvy, but you need somebody strong like Caruso, who should have been the mayor in LA, because our political ineptitude is ridiculous, and I don't want to go down that politic road, but just, geez, Bass is just completely useless.
Then I think about the class action lawsuits, the finger pointing.
Yeah.
It's seeming like Edison may have had a role in it.
Well, I think there is something. They admitted a little bit partial of the
Altadena.
one of the fire. Yeah, little one
Wildfires.
Yeah.
He was Hollywood.
Then infrastructure. If the hydrants, that's a whole different topic. You're opening this can of worms. That's why I kept saying I have more questions than answers.
putting you on the spot here.
That's fine. I can handle it. The infrastructure, meaning sewer, water, putting undergrounding the wires that caused a lot of the damage. Who's paying for that? Um, the fact that the hydrants, well, the reservoir not being full, that's a complete f up. And then, but we were not prepared for this at all. The politicians are telling us that they were prepared and they had strategically fire station engines ship stationed. No one believes that. No one saw that. It's not true. Um, and the typical, I guess, hydrant line is now 6 inches where it was 4 inches in the past, and that doesn't matter if you don't have any water at the reservoir. But it was flawed, and we paid the price for it.
Where is everyone going?
We better go into the valley.
And structure, right?
Well, that's Small Valley County. So there's about 6,000 Palisades. And I say structures, so a structure could be a house and a garage. So that's, or an ADU.
So maybe it's 4,000 families.
Maybe. I wish I knew the real answer. But anyway, look here. It's a lot. It's a way lot. And, we are so underhoused and in the state of California. And the state has been recently, last year, pushing a mandate. All the cities like my city Redondo to add more housing. And my city is pushing back, sadly. But we need to share the burden of putting people in houses and providing shelter, which is a basic human need. So infrastructure had to be dealt with, disposal, hazardous and normal just debris removal, and that has to be done first, really, before you start going vertical, meaning building the houses.
So you're a professional project manager, architect, home builder. How do you get involved? How do you help out? Obviously, you're going to be big.
I should be, and I'm not an ambulance chaser, but you have the skills that I do that are warranted and needed and high demand. I'm going to let people know I'm out there. If you take advantage of me, great. If you don't, then fine. It's up to your personal needs. But I offer advisory services, meaning that I am an architect, but I'm not necessarily going to be your architect. In fact, I almost guarantee I won't be your architect, but I will be someone that introduces you to the 500 or more architects that I know that could do one of them being the right person for you. All architects, it's not a commodity. It's not one size fits all. And if you're an architect, you know the abilities of other people and teams and reputations. And there's to me a lot of, and then I'll same thing with the general contractors. Bidding is going to be scarce because people are going to be so busy, and the lack of quality subs is going to be huge. I hope someone's addressing the amount of steel and metal and wood and windows that's going to be needed for this properties. I'm only seeing and hearing about contractors from other states coming here, and that's a problem because A, they're not licensed here. B, if they were doing great and they were such a great contractor, they would be doing fine in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But if they're not and they're subpar and they can't find work or they got a bad reputation or they've been lawsuits, they're going to come here for a fresh start, and you're going to be their guinea pig. That's why you're going to hire me. You're going to hire me to oversee and be your owner's rep and to see that you are treated well and that you understand the systems. And we don't expect our clients to know architecture, construction, entitlement, the law. That's where we come in. You hire a professional like me who handles that and asks you the right questions at the right time to find the right solution. And that's why I call myself a property solver, MD3 Property Solutions.
But when you say owner's rep, can you explain what that is?
So owner's rep is someone that
how really different than a developer or architect or contractor.
So Ken lost his house sadly, and he's rebuilt, and he has someone found him the right architect, and that could have been me as the owner's rep. I'm representing the ownership, and so I'm not the architect, I'm not the contractor, but I oversee them. So in the pyramid of leadership and ownership, Ken is the owner at the top, and then me, and then the architect, and then on up the side, diagonally, is the contractor. So I oversee, I'm the eyes and ears. The project that I'm doing, that I'm talking about near LeBron James' house on Tiger Tail, I'm overseeing that to make sure that the contractor is doing everything the right quality, on the right budget, and on schedule. So I oversee there and go there on a weekly basis and review the draw request for him to get paid, and do a report every month, to explain to the owner, here's what's going on. Here's pictures of what was happening in your house. Here's the things we've accomplished. Here's what we're going to accomplish next week. Here's questions that you need to answer. And so, yeah, I basically convert this to hand holding, if you will. I'm the conductor of the orchestra. I may help you find the architect contractor. Maybe you already have them, but you are not expected to be an expert at budgets and construction, and that's where you hire somebody to be your eyes and ears, and so you're not going to get screwed or ripped off.
I wonder if you're going to be asked to get involved in the insurance piece of this, trying to like run down. I mean, if I would do, a lot of owners, I would imagine that's kind of what they're doing right now.
Well, that's why I'm a good resource, because I have 4,300 contacts, so I know a lot of insurance guys I can lean on and call. I met with one of them yesterday, and if I had a question, I don't have to pay anybody. I just make a phone call real quick and I'll get your answer solved. So that would be one of many different issues that I could help someone with to resolve the issue. Am I
And with cleaning up, obviously, right now you're just dealing with the cleanup.
just start with
Kind
that?
of assessing.
Yeah. And then do we want to put the same thing back? Are we gonna do the second story now? And I'm thinking, like, if I was the architect and doing your project, I go, where do I start? You may have pictures of your house. You don't have pictures of everything. I guarantee you. You're a document or plans, maybe. Plans? Oh, I had plans. They got burnt up. It's a fire.
Right.
Oh, the
City does.
The city has them. No, like, not necessarily. That's always been a false nomer. That the city has all your documentation of how to build your house. I guarantee you, maybe seldom is the case to be true. So, and also that another thing is, okay, let's say, Ken, you want to put your house back just like you did. Guess what? The rules have changed. The construction methods and how we fortify your house, they were acceptable, 50 years ago, but not now. We have to use more rigid materials. We have to use more sound insulation. We have to use better windows.
Fire hardening.
Fire hardening is a whole different topic. I am not going to sit here and tell you I'm the expert in that. I know some things, but there are people that are more technical in nature to me that I would refer you to, and I would find that person. Well, again,
And it's just part of the approval process, a part of.
no, actually, no. So the code elevation from what it was to where it is now, that's something, yes. But the hardening, let's say
That's kind of after that.
that's your desire to really basically insurance. You want to be the only house standing next time, like some people already are. So you're going to spend more money and more time to design a better solution. You're going to pay the price for it. If it's worth it for you, then great. I don't sell hardening.
So hardening is really a bolt-on after the fact.
It's a philosophy that you, instead of batting a 2x4 stud a wall with plywood and stuck on the other side, which is traditional, insulation in the middle, you want it to be more fortified. You want to use a concrete wall. You want to use brick, something that's going to burn much slowly than a wood product. So
Can you think of any situations similar to what happened in the Palisades anywhere else in the country that we might like to look to?
that's a great. I don't spend too much time thinking beyond my own region and the problems that happen.
Like Florida, like they had thick floods in Florida.
So you would think that somebody smarter than me that spends time in those regions could say, hey, here's what happened.
Here's what's happened in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah. So flooding is different than what we're talking about here, but sure. The issue is I don't have answers to that question, but somebody does, and we have people that could answer questions. The question and the debate really is how much more. Look, it's already super difficult for me to get this house filled, and all the precautions and all of the, especially in California, with all the environmental assessments issues, Title 24 energy efficiency codes. That doesn't happen next door in Arizona, in Utah, and Nevada or Oregon. And so we are so already over the top in terms of prevention. We're over-regulated. So we're talking about adding more. That just blows my mind.
Well, don't you think? I mean, between obviously Trump came out, he was,
Hammering local officials to speed it up. You got guys like Caruso coming out and saying, they're screwing up, speed it up. I'm a builder. Here's how you do it. I got to think they're under immense pressure to speed things up.
Well,
So is it? I can't even imagine that we don't see some. Look, great.
no belief in politicians. And so Trump, I watched them. I don't know Trump, but I watched the video of Trump and Mayor Bass in the same room, and Trump was pushing squeezing her verbally on saying, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because he was hearing 18 months to get it rebuilt, to start to rebuild, and meaning permit process, environmental clearances, and that kind of thing. And she said, "Oh no, we're going to take care of it." Dan, I'm not holding my breath. I hope she does. I don't expect her to. I want her to. So we'll see what happens. I don't have a dog in this fight. Well, I do have a dog in this fight because I want this. I want this.
Because you love LA.
Yeah, I want it to happen. I just don't have any faith that the left really clinging to environmental issues being more important than humanitarian issues and economics. And so, when you have all these regulations that have little or no merit, then and speed of the process, we need to get rid of the red tape. We all know it's there, and someone's got to blink first.
Well, I think you're always candid, if nothing else. So, you don't
With
put any
Wildfires.
bullshit in.
I love being a libertarian. I love the fact that I'm not a slave to the right or the left, and I have logical thoughts. And if you want to counter my thoughts, let's talk about it. But I see things the way they are, and I have an opinion. And sometimes I'm right, and sometimes I'm wrong. But I just love being independent. That where my thought process is not slaughtered with someone else telling me what to think or do. I call it as I see it, balls and strikes, and whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm not beholden to anybody. So, and not everybody loves that, and I'm okay with it. I don't care. I mean, my objective, if you hire me in a position, is to get your house done, not to make you the richest person in the world. With that's been a struggle of some people that they want me to save so much money that we called it the project because they want to add more gold bars to their vaults. I'm just not that guy. I'm gonna get it done. I'm a bulldog, and it's gonna. I know what it's gonna take, and I think I believe government can only getting in the way in most of these scenarios, and I hope the red tape gets cleared away.
Nice. Well, I wasn't expecting to record this, but I'm glad I did. Thanks, MD3.
You're awesome, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, good with that.